welcome back to the show. You're still with me, Kachi Ofi, and this is Arise 360. So let's talk about some of, your cool friends, Stanbic IBTC Insurance. So basically, think of the worst thing that could happen right now to you, right? I mean, I know what the worst thing could happen. That could happen is losing a loved one, losing somebody that you care deeply about. But you know what's worse than losing somebody that you deeply care about? It happening so spontaneously that you're not even prepared. You're not ready. Everything comes at you, and then you're asking yourself, how am I going to cater to this, basically? I mean, if there's anything that made me understand that this is not just a fear for me, it's a fear for everybody. It's how the world reacted to the manner in which Mohbad was buried. Everyone was upset. A lot of people were, in fact, disgusted by it. So basically, with this conversation, Stanbic IBTC Insurance is offering a funeral insurance plan. It's called the Sunset Benefit. I thought that was an interesting name. Now, basically, it's supposed to help customers like yourself give their loved ones a befitting homegoing ceremony without putting the pressure on those left behind. Well, joining me right now on Arise 360, the head of technical at Stanbic IBTC Insurance, of course, Olufunmilayo. That's her full name, but for now, I'm just going to call you Fumi, if that's okay. I love the fact that we're both wearing blue.
That's fine. What
are the odds that we're both wearing blue today? Anyway, like I said earlier.
That's interesting.
It is interesting. Let's talk about that Sunset Benefit. I thought it was an interesting name, Sunset. Tell me about that.
Thank you very much, Kashi. It's interesting to catch up with you at this particular event. So when we talk about Stanbic IBTC Sunset Funeral Plan, is a funeral assurance plan that affords you the opportunity to plan for the homegoing of your loved ones without breaking the bank, without financial pressure. What do I mean by that? That is, you can actually plan for this certain event. We all know that whether we like it or not, our parents or our parents-in-law are going to die one day. And when these events happen, aside from the financial pressure, aside from the emotional pressures that come with this particular event, the other pressure that comes with it is the financial pressure. And that is why Stanbic IBTC has provided this particular product to ensure that you don't have that financial burden. Whenever these events happen, we owe you that assurance that you can actually have a befitting burial for your loved ones.
That's something that I think everybody needs, especially dealing. I mean, I don't know how grief is for you, but earlier on in the show, I talked about what grief was for me. Like, I cannot fathom, I don't know what I will do, like I said. The thought of losing somebody that I deeply cared about, and then having to couple that with the pressure of having to deal with what to do financially, especially when you are not ready for it. What would you say was the reason behind coming up with this initiative? I mean, it's a bank at the end of the day. I'm sure you have other expenses and other needs and other areas that you could cater to. You could decide to cater to education, to health, to sports, to widows, to pregnant women. There's so many other fields that you could have focused on. But why was this something that the bank thought was necessary to put together?
Okay, such an interesting question, Kashi. So if you look at this part of the world, this part of our world, when there is a funeral need, that is when there's a death, when we lose our parents or parents-in-law, what comes to mind is because of the cultural norm, because of the cultural rights, or there are also societal expectations from us to ensure that we provide a befitting burial for these loved ones. And because at that point in time, the clients are exposed to, or our prospects, what we believe is that they are exposed to not only the emotional trauma, they're also exposed to the financial burden to ensure that they give a very befitting, homegoing funeral for these loved ones. And that is why we have come up with this initiative to say this particular plan can afford you the opportunity to have a funeral assurance. And the assurance is to say that when you have this plan in place, you can actually be sure that your parents or parents-in-law, when you lose them, you can have that fund to take care of that. And what do I mean by that? The policy is a 5-year whole life policy. When we talk about whole life policy, is a policy that assures you a long time that is for life cover. That is, whenever it happens, we're going to take on the baton and pay you the benefit, as long as you can pay the premium within a particular period of time. We have two different options of premium payment. We have the five years premium payment plan. We also have a premium payment plan that affords you the opportunity to pay premium to age 70. What does that mean? That is, when you pick up this cover, you can either pick a 5-year payment plan. That is, after paying for that 5 years, you are sure that anytime this event happens, Stanbic IBTC is at your beck and call to ensure that that financial burden is met. Let me give an example of what happened to a friend of mine some time ago. I have a friend, Tunde, that actually reached out to me a year ago about this particular product, and which I sold to him. And when Tunde bought this product, bought this product for a benefit of 5 million for himself, for his spouse, and also for his parents. And his parents, as at that time, were age 72 and age 70, in which he was expected to pay a monthly premium of 74,000. And Tunde, as at that time, was around age 40. So he was expected to pay a monthly premium of 70,000. And 12 months down the line, Tunde lost his father. Tunde lost his father that was at age 77, around age 77 at that time. And because he had a 5-year plan, a 5 million benefit that he has taken up, what we did was we paid him that 5 million. So when he called me that the event has happened, that he has actually lost his dad, I told him that, okay, so all what is required from you is just to submit the required documentation. And what is this documentation? Medical certificate of cause of death, or certificate of death that can actually evidence that Tunde lost his father, as it were. And those documents were submitted. Within 48 hours, we were able to settle that particular claim because the claim was discharged. And Tunde had that 5 million. And we all traveled down to Ogunbiyi to celebrate the ongoing of Tunde's father. So what this particular plan is assuring you is that we can actually plan for this event. We all know that death is a certain event that is going to happen. It's just that when it's going to happen is what we don't know. But because it's going to happen, Stanbic IBTC Sunset Plan is there to ensure that whenever it happens, you can actually have this benefit. As at that point in time for Tunde, he has only paid 840,000, and he had 5 million benefits at his beck and call to actually celebrate the funeral rites for his dad.
Wow, look at that. Well, I'm sure for a lot of Nigerians now, it's just thinking, okay, so who can get this? Obviously there should be an age limit. Is there an age limit for this? Who are the people who are eligible for this? Who are those who can equally be covered by this? Because these are some of the technical issues that might actually be a limitation for people.
Okay, so Stanbic Sunset Benefits Plan is a benefit that can actually be gotten by people between age 18 to age 65. That is the age of the prospects that want to take it. And for the age limit of the enrollees, that is the parents and parents-in-law, the age limit is age 75. That is, if you are between age 18 and you are financially independent and you want this funeral cover, which I will advise you to get because it's just a financial planning tool for an event that is certain to happen. So you can actually get it if your parents are still below age 75 or your parents-in-law. This policy affords you the opportunity of covering yourself. Not only yourself, you will have the opportunity to cover your spouse. You also have the opportunity to cover your parents. That is your both parents, your father and your mother, and also your parents-in-law, that whenever it happens. So whenever this death happens, what we are showing you is that this benefit is going to be paid as long as the policy remain active. And what can keep this policy active? If you can pay your premium, the policy remain active. And another juicy thing about this policy is that the premium payment period is just 5 years. If you have 5 years, you can pay your premium within 5 years. What we are showing you is that anytime this event happens, anytime this event happens, Stanbic IBTC Insurance is going to pay you the benefits that you have picked as being the benefits to take care of this home call expectation. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Fumi. Now, before we wrap things up, so we can, just get into what it actually entails, how exactly do people become part of this. We know the age limits. We understand that, yes, some people might even get paranoid, like, see, I don't want to talk about anything death related, because there's a myth that when you talk about death, death might come to you. You know how superstitious some of us can get, but regardless, for those people who still understand the benefit here, what's the process like?
Yeah, Kashi, when you say that we talk about the might, about when people talk about death comes to you, but I don't really believe in that might. If you look at the event of death, it's a certain event that is going to happen one day or one day. But it's just the time that is going to happen that we don't know. And that is why we have these benefits to ensure that whenever it happens, we are actually there to help, to support, and ensure that that fund is available to take care of this particular expectation or this particular need at that point in time. So to assess this policy, all what you require is just to come to our website, come to our various touch points, www.stanbicibtcinsurance.com, or you can hook us up on Twitter, on all our social media handles, LinkedIn, our Twitter, and Instagram, and then we'll be just chat us up and tell us what your expectations are. You determine what benefits you are looking at. You can start with a minimum. Our minimum benefit is 500,000, ranging to 10 million for the policyholder and the spouse. However, for your enrollees, when I talk about enrollees, I mean your parents and parents-in-law that you want to bring on board on this policy. The maximum benefit is 5 million. So just hook us up, tell us the benefits you are looking at, then we advise you of the premium to pay. As long as you pay the premium, you can be rest assured that you have a funeral assurance plan that whenever it happens, you are not at disadvantage. You have the financial muscle to be able to take care of this need.
Funmi, thank you so much for joining us on the show today to share this very interesting plan. It's lovely having you.